My, how time flies. I remember this like yesterday. In December 2022, I reviewed Sanguine Imperator, and they had put out their debut album. It's a smashing thing. And the posters there, that's how much it had an impact. It got up onto the wall. And the album was The World Will Drown in Blood. And I reviewed 2 tracks. I think I intended to do 1 and then kind of moved on. The Von Carstein and Eternal Love. And I had such a great time of it, and it was a very well received video. And the band have been super kind, because after that review they got this t-shirt for me, so thank you again very much for that. I'm a little bit fatter. That's the trials of being a chef, but I thought I'd show up today and wear it again because they have released a new album. It's called I Am Deaf. Now, Sanguine Imperator, they kind of theme the music around vampire folklore within the kind of Warhammer domain. And I think in the last video I kind of went on into a bit of a segue into my sort of adolescence, that I was a sort of Warhammer fan, and I enjoyed all the vampiric stuff and the Eldar stuff. Wasn't so keen on all the Space Marines bits and pieces. That was far too mainstream for me. But absolutely. And whatever happened to Epic 40k, which was basically a miniaturized version? Painting that stuff was hard work. But nerdy stuff aside, let's get on to the music. So they sent me this, and they sent me a poster which is actually up on the wall in a place where the camera can't get to, but I'll maybe put a thing there. So yeah, unboxing time. So this is an 11-track album, and beautifully designed, again in keeping with their as was the first one, 11-track. Now there we go. And I actually get to find out some pieces of people, because I've spoken, obviously I chat to the Sanguine Imperator over the period of time, and I'm really not quite sure who I've been talking to. So the lineup, here we go: Kyle Reese May, lead guitar, backup vocals; Dave Gamboa, vocals and keys; Lynn, I'm English, forgive me, Bromenschenkel on bass, just call Lynn, I really apologise, and Lucas Gillette on rhythm guitar. So there we go. If I can show you the bits and pieces, we open up, and there's some more artwork. Traitors of traitors, defiers and liars, buried in coffins, forsaken by death. There we go. So I'm going to rewrap this to preserve its posterity, and I think I'm going to build a collection of these CDs that I've got sent somewhere else in here when I get the time. But today I said I'd review a track. I think I'm actually going to do 3. Now, in my preparation for this, I kind of just gave 20-second previews of bits and pieces so as to preserve the posterity of a reaction. So there we go. It's all of this album is all available on Spotify, and I'm going to populate links and stuff below. But yeah, I Am Deaf, just released by Sanguine Imperator on the 2nd of February. And the first track I'm going to play is Vashanesh. Now, I did some Googling because I'm not up to date on my Warhammer. So Vlad von Carstein, who appeared in the first album, was known in his former life as Vashanesh of Nehekala, and he was the first vampire count of Sylvania and founder of the von Carstein bloodline. He was dreaded by many as a monster that brought darkness upon the lands of Sylvania after his marriage to someone else, and that's where the wiki ends. But if you're already Warhammer knowledgeable, you'll know this. But if you're either getting into Warhammer or you're kind of not vampire orientated, something there to look at. Plenty of kind of Warhammer history embedded in these tunes, which I'm sure is possibly going to be above me. But I digress. We're going to go and push play. Now, this is Sanguine Imperator with Vashanesh.
Knights to battle!
Good start.
The battles,
good. Just how I remember things to be. So good. Here we go. This is so black. I love it. Oh yes, yes. Oh, that's heavy. Now where are we going? Oh yeah. This is hard, man. They're going hard in this album. I want it louder. I'm on maximum volume, but I want it louder already. Keep coming away. Yeah. I really love that lead sound. That was the frighteningly brutal Vashanesh. Ah, man, I'm going to apologise for not listening to the first album enough. You know, I listen to so much music that when I find something that I love the sound of Sanguine Imperator the first time around. We always have it's almost like a bit of loyalty. And we'd have that with bands, and we listen to them all the time, as I did at the beginning, and then kind of, especially when you do the work that I do, and notwithstanding the fact that I now have a record label, www.phaserecords.com, go check it out. Notwithstanding that fact, you know, it's now got to a point where I'm kind of listening to so much music over the last couple of years, and since the label, I'm listening to the same sort of music because I'm working with the same artists, and there's always new artists coming through on the reaction side of things, and just gradually, bit by bit, things just drop, and there's always a sense of there's always a sense of in wonderment when you kind of rediscover a band again. But there's also a sense of guilt attached to it because, you know, you didn't kind of give it as much attention as you intended. And I'm sure this is an absolute point for any lover of music, regardless of whether they're working in the industry or around the industry, as I do. But so nice to hear this wonderful blend. But this lead work is just astonishing, and it's such a nice sound. So we're going to move on to Total War (End Times) and give that a full spin. Oh man, am I enjoying this? Sounds of war, always good. Oh, yes. Yes. I love the suspense these keys are adding.
Enforce the light into possessions.
This is a banger.
God on blood, on my command.
These earphones are giving up the ghost. They're not staying on as they used to.
Chaos moves from our direction, destroying everything that meets the ball. Our relentless composition makes the entire world a total war.
But I haven't had a day off my day job for a while, so it's so nice to be listening to music again. There we go. There we go. Now we're back into the suspense. This is an amazing composition. Lead work is just dreamy. I love that. So good.
Relentless cries of war and goes through never times. Forces of undead have come to engage with guilt and doubt and war.
Okay, intense. Yeah, I'm loving it. Loving it.
What bleeds with killing fields as chaos falls apart. Bretonian cavalry rushes to stop your time.
Oh yeah. The dynamics in these vocals on this track are absolutely killing it. I've got lots to say here, lots to say.
From all direction, destroying everything that meets the path. Our relentless opposition makes the entire world a total war. Transforming us, here they go.
Total War. The music did the track name justice. So much to say there. Firstly, when the lead guitar kind of breaks, this reminds me of like Emperor. It has that kind of, I don't know, that vibe about it. Just like so crystal clear, so sort of like high end, but not too much that it's disturbing. And yeah, it just takes you away and it sucks you back in. When I go still, occasionally I'll sort of sit here and I'll stare like this. What's happening here is my ADHD brain has actually gone quiet. There's normally, at the risk of not sounding too crazy, but there's quite a lot of dialogue that's going on in here non-stop. And I suppose that's probably why. I've taken to certain rush-inducing substances in the past, which thankfully I'm now 1,150 something days clear of. But this music, this style of music, metal in general, it provides that same rush. And I used to go out seeking that rush, I suppose in many forms, because it quietens the brain down. Which is why, you know, for people who have ADHD, quite often it's actually stimulants that are prescribed to them. But this is the prescription because it got also intense, and then boom, moment of clarity. It's like some people listen to white noise or other such kind of things to or certain things at certain frequencies. You see it on TikTok and all this kind of stuff. And it just provides a moment of stillness. And I call that this mindgasm. I won't mince my words. It's almost like all of that's gone off and just, it's like someone's just like turned all the televisions off in your head, you know, like a store when you go in and see hundreds of screens and stuff. Total war. Totally defeated my brain, that's for certain. That takes some doing. Anyone who knows me will tell you that. So I'm in love with this, and I'm looking forward to carving out the time to listen to the full album. I have some travelling to do over the next course of days, so this will be joining me in full. But for now, we're going to go to the Devils of Swartzhafen. Swartzhafen? I don't know. And I think that was the previous name of a faction called Waldenhof. So like a vampire counts faction. Something to do with an old world campaign. So yeah, again, I'm not the Warhammer person I used to be. It's been, oh my god, I was 15 when I last touched any of that. It's too many years ago. It's 25 years ago. God, I'm old. Dying. Not at all. The Devils of Swartzhafen. Here we go. Just to wrap things up. Really old side of classic sound on the key set. This has got a bit of like dissonance to it. Reminds me of the principle of evil made flesh. It's that vocal, man. So good. I love those guitar sounds, man. It's like the rhythm has an octave, but it doesn't. It's so clear. Nice. Oh, yeah. Such a random riff. It's like, being hit with a hammer, you know, like it's just relentless. It's like taking a pummeling, really. I can't keep that behaviour up. This is quite light behaviour. It's such brutal music. What you're seeing on screen not really matching the brutality. Love it. Yes. I love those high vocals, man. Oh, I love it so much. Go on, one last rush for the end. Yeah. Oh, nice. Got a slight dissonance there in the keys. Again. And left hanging in dissonance as well. Like it. Look, this is just a taster of what the album has to offer. And I haven't listened to it all, but by God, I will. Sanguine Imperator, definitely. Can pull it off twice in a row. Long may the brutality continue. How long can a Warhammer themed, sort of concept last in music? Or if you look to that, answer that question, have a look at how long Warhammer has lasted. I mean, it's lasted most of my life. And long may it continue, because providing it's feeding the inspiration into Sanguine Imperator, and indeed other bands like it, or anyone, they can draw creative inspiration from it and turn it into something this good, then yeah, I'm absolutely for it. This has been fantastic. In relation to that last track, I absolutely love the kind of dissonant elements, and all of the musicianship is absolutely on top form. All of the names credit. I'm just looking at the CD now. In fact, actually, there's some things I may have missed. No, so we dealt with Kyle and Lucas and Lynn, and Dave. I think Matthew Jones here, he's crediting for some drumming. Michael Thomas for drums for the song we just heard. There's Michael Cirillo, I apologise. Again, violin, so there's some violin in there somewhere. Alison Gamboa for all the artwork. Wormhole Studios for mixing and mastering. What a fantastic fucking job they're getting all of those dynamics sitting in the mix beautifully. And of course, the 11th track, it must be said, is a tribute to debauchery, and that track is Blood for the Blood God. And there we go. So Sanguine Imperator, I Am Death, everyone. Links below. I hope you've had some fun. Listen, I had no idea that after all the kind of careers I got myself into, the things I've tried and been successful at and been less successful at, that I would end up at 40 kind of shaking about and pulling faces, which I did in my spare time. But this is kind of where I've ended up, and I absolutely love it. And do you know what? I'm going to be doing this at 80. There's no way. Well, touch wood. I live that long. Have I got anything made of wood in here? There we are. Touch wood. I live that long. Because I hope so. Because I don't want to ever stop listening to music, and I never want to stop listening to music like this. And I hope that Sanguine Imperator outlive me, indeed, because the day they stop making music, that's a sad day indeed. There we go. Think I've covered it all. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and come back here or to faceoverrecords.com for more stuff that I will undoubtedly discover and show you. But this has been an amazing day, an amazing album thus far. I now have more tracks to catch up on.